Look at the markings. The woods are angry.
The harvest moon demands sacrifice.
Witchcraft refers to the use of supernatural or occult powers to inflict harm upon others. Those who practice it are known as witches, and their harmful acts may be described as curses, hexes, bewitchments, or maleficium. Throughout history and across cultures, belief in the power of malevolent witches has been widespread. Sometimes these witches are seen as solitary figures working alone in secret. At other times, they are believed to form covens, groups conspiring against the moral and social order of their communities. Though often rooted in folklore, superstition, and myth rather than reality, tales of witchcraft have persisted through the ages. Even so, there have been individuals who genuinely believed in their own ability to cast curses or perform dark rituals, embracing the identity of the witch. Throughout history, those accused of practicing witchcraft have often faced severe persecution, ostracism, torture, and even execution. One of the most notorious examples of anti-witch hysteria occurred during the witch trials of early modern Europe and the American colonies between the 15th and 17th centuries. During this era, Christian Europeans widely believed that witches not only cast harmful spells, but also worshipped the devil himself, gathering in secret rituals known as witches' Sabbaths. Even in the 21st century, witch hunts persist in several regions of the world, including parts of sub-Saharan Africa, Papua New Guinea, and central India. These modern persecutions, often rooted in fear, superstition, and social unrest, continue to claim lives, reminding humanity of the dark legacy left by centuries of paranoia and accusation. Over time, the terms witchcraft and witch have also gained alternative meanings among English language speakers. A second, far broader definition uses the term witchcraft to describe a varied range of ritual practices intended to manipulate occult, spiritual, or supernatural power, regardless of intent. In this sense, witchcraft can be used to harm or to heal, allowing there to be both bad and good witches. A third use of the term witch describes a woman who is regarded as being antisocial, rebellious, or independent of male power, a usage that can be employed in either a misogynistic or a feminist manner. The fourth definition characterizes several modern religious groups, largely of 20th and 21st century origin, whose practitioners actively refer to their traditions as witchcraft and themselves as witches. Typically, these practitioners draw heavily on the imagery and terminology historically associated with witchcraft in European cultures, but invested with new meanings. The largest of these new religions is Wicca, although the identity of the witch is also adopted by some modern Satanists and other esotericists. The term witchcraft originated in the early Middle Ages as the Old English term Wiccacraft. Prior to the 19th century, the common understanding of the terms witch and witchcraft among English speakers was a negative one. In this context, a witch was someone who drew on supernatural or occult power to harm others, engaging in what was often referred to using the Latin term maleficium. Similar concepts were evident in many other parts of Europe, with terms roughly synonymous with the English word witchcraft, including sorcellery, French hexerie, German, stregoneria, Italian, and brujeria, Spanish. As Europeans expanded across the globe from the 15th century onward, they encountered communities that also believed in individuals who harmed others through occult means. These communities often had their own names for this phenomenon, ranging from the Mapuche term Calcutun through to the Zande word Mangu. In large part due to British colonialism and American cultural influence, at the start of the 21st century, the English words witchcraft and witch are probably the best known terms for this phenomenon on an international level. However, given that these words carry considerable cultural baggage, it remains possible that future anthropologists might devise new terminologies for this cross-cultural belief in occult, harming practices. At its core, witchcraft is about harming others, although the nature of this harm varies, from making a person ill or even killing them, to inducing crop failure, poor weather, infertility and impotence, or the death of livestock. Witches are thus malevolent figures. While it is important to acknowledge the significant cultural and historical variation in perceptions of harmful witchcraft, the recurring nature of these beliefs suggests an origin in human psychology, perhaps a shared desire to find a reason for misfortune. A common belief about witches is that they bring about their intended harm through the performance of ritual acts, in English typically termed spell casting. Often this relies upon a belief in what the anthropologist James Fraser termed sympathetic magic, the notion that invisible connections exist between separate things, sharing some particular commonality, and that performing an act with one of these objects will exert an impact on the other. A recurring idea throughout many parts of the world, including Polynesia, Melanesia, South Asia, Africa, and North America, is that witches can harm a person by gaining access to their nail clippings, hair, or bodily waste. Another idea, found in parts of Europe, is that a curse can be enacted by making a doll or effigy of a person, into which pins can then be inserted. Not all witches need to perform ritual acts in order to curse somebody, however. Especially common in West and Central Africa and Melanesia are various beliefs about witches who bring about harm simply through their thoughts or desires. A similar notion, particularly recurrent in North Africa and the Middle East, is that of the evil eye, the idea that an individual can curse another through the power of sight alone. Some communities have believed that individuals make a conscious choice to practice witchcraft, but elsewhere can be found the belief that certain people are simply born witches and may have little control over their actions. A traditional belief among the Bangwa of Cameroon, for instance, is that witches are born with an extra organ that compels them to drain other people's blood. Similarly, an idea recorded among the Nyakyusa of Tanzania is that each witch inherits a python living within their stomach, which drives them to consume human flesh. This association with particular animals can also be seen in other contexts. Among the Zulu of South Africa, a traditional belief maintains that certain types of witches ride naked upon baboons, while in early modern England, A common notion held that witches were assisted by familiars, demonic entities that took animal form. The social identity of the stereotypical witch varies. In some areas, women are regarded as more likely to be witches. In others, that role goes to men, while elsewhere, neither sex is thought to be more prone to witchery than the other. Gender roles can also impact the way in which witchcraft is thought to be carried out. On Dobu, an island off the coast of New Guinea, 20th century ethnographers recorded a belief that male witches performed their curses while awake, whereas their female counterparts ventured forth at night in spirit form to carry out their nefarious acts. There is also variation in the age of suspected witches. In some places, age does not appear to be a significant factor in the accusations, while there are many societies that have tended to believe that older people are more likely to be witches, as well as rarer examples where children are more typically suspected. Although witches are generally perceived as being human, in many societies they are credited with fantastic abilities not shared by most people. The idea that witches can fly was found not only in early modern Europe, a period covering the 15th to 17th centuries, but also in parts of North America, Sub-Saharan Africa, South Asia, and Melanesia. In some cases, they allegedly do so upon steeds. The aforementioned Nyakyusa, for instance, held to a belief that witches flew upon their pythons, while from early modern Europe, there are accounts of witches riding upon broomsticks. In many places, there are also accounts of witches being capable of transforming their shape. Inhabitants of Dang in Gujarat, India, for instance, held to a belief that witches could take the form of tigers, while a witch who appears in the Metamorphoses. A 2nd century novel by the Roman author Apuleius can turn herself into a bird. Witches are sometimes believed to act alone, but in other cases, they are instead thought to operate in tandem with others, often as part of a secret society. The Congo people of Central Africa are among those who traditionally believe that witches meet together to perform their nefarious acts, while from the Hopi of the American Southwest has been recorded the notion that witches all over the world form an international network and share a common language. In many cases, this society of witches is regarded as being fundamentally antisocial and opposed to the moral norms of their communities. For this reason, witches are often thought to gather at night when most people are asleep and to engage in acts generally regarded as being socially taboo, such as nudity, cannibalism, and incest. While witches are often deemed to act against the good of the community, there are other instances where a person may engage in cursing for socially sanctioned reasons. This is, for instance, the case in the Trobriand Islands of Papua New Guinea, where there are accounts of chiefs ordering ritual specialists to curse individuals who have broken certain laws or customs. There are also many contexts around the world in which a ritual specialist may engage in cursing for a paying client, and these ritualists may simultaneously also offer services for healing, divination, or to counter the curses of others. The distinction between the malevolent witch and other types of ritual specialist is not always clear-cut. Across centuries and civilizations, the image of the witch has taken countless forms: healer and destroyer, protector and curse-bearer, outcast and icon. What began as fear of the unknown transformed into a symbol of rebellion, wisdom, and forbidden power. Whether in the rituals of Africa, the legends of Europe, or the New Age religions of today, the witch endures, a mirror reflecting humanity's deepest hopes and darkest fears. In every shadow, in every whispered spell, there lies a truth about our own nature, the eternal struggle between light and darkness within us all. Perhaps the true magic of the witch is that she never truly dies.